Hello and welcome to 28 Days of Play. This is a February series where we focus on creating instead of how miserable and awful this totally sucky month is. And so in order to get ourselves through winter and all these cold days, the focus instead is on creating beautiful, intuitive, colorful florals. The focus with these works is definitely on the process and not creating some perfect work. So I just want you to give yourself complete permission to play and relax and breathe today. This session is really all about that. It's just about gently using color to shift your mood and draw on some idea of a floral. And you know what? If it doesn't quite get there, it's okay because we've had fun in the process. And that is really just as good. So what I've started doing here is I had written those words down initially onto my pages. And those words I call words of intention. So I really was trying to shift my spirit out of this busy day that I've had into some time of creating. And I really think that creating is such like a sacred activity. And so for me, putting down those words of intention is kind of like a little quiet prayer. And sometimes if you don't have words, you can really just draw a line and let that line wander across the page as you are just breathing and thinking about what you want this creative session to be like. And the good news is that white, scary page is gone at the end of it. So then that scary part is over and you can just start painting and having fun. So what I started doing next was really just grabbing some colors that I loved, and that's what I put on my palette. I put these beautiful warm colors and a little bit of green gold, and they all just like spark some little bit of joy for me. And if you haven't played with color mixing before, it is really so much easier than you would think. It is really just grabbing a little bit of one color and adding it to the next. And whenever you have just, all warms like this, the way that I have here on my palette, you can keep mixing them in really any different amounts and they're still going to create beautiful colors for you. So you can see that I started initially just moving paint around with like this big catalyst squeegee, and I covered my page very quickly. And then I picked up some brushes, and now I'm just kind of creating these little spaces, these moments of color. And I'm using something right down in the bottom left of my palette that is called glazing medium. And I use that to mix in with my paint so that I'm creating these almost like sheer layers over one another where I'm not losing the work that was underneath, but instead I just keep building. And you can see I use my hairdryer quite a lot in this particular process because I want those layers to dry so that I can just go ahead and paint right over them. And I don't want them to blend together. And I'm moving my brush. I decided I didn't like the way that some of my marks were all going in one direction. So I decided to move my paintbrush and hold it upside down to create marks going in the other direction. But I was loving just the natural mark that the tip of my brush was making, this sort of like rounded square brush that I have. And I felt like, I was like, gosh, well, these are kind of creating like little flower moments. Maybe this is like a garden of flowers or like bushes of flowers. And so I started following that thread that was happening, and I really started to enjoy it. And so I kind of kept working back and forth between adding color, lightening the value. I was enjoying, like, it was almost like I was envisioning like squinting your eyes at something, and you know how it gives you like blur if you look at the light. And so that's kind of what I was thinking, was maybe this is like a blurry garden. And I love pulling in a bit of a fluorescent. So this is fluorescent pink. And again, I'm using my squeegee to just move color around. And you can see I mixed the fluorescent with that glazing medium. And now I'm doing the same thing with a bit of yellow. And the awesome thing about that glazing medium is it's like holding up a piece of stained glass over your artwork. So you still have all the beautiful layers underneath, and you have this color that is softly coating them. And you know what? We have 10 amazing tools right at the end of our arm, so don't be afraid to get your fingertips right into the paint. Sometimes they are, first of all, accessible, and they really make great marks. Oh my gosh, guys, do you see what just happened there? I was squirting the white paint and it totally shot like across my page. And you know what? Those are just the moments where you're like, okay, I guess now we're going to have lines. So I went ahead and drew another one and blotted that up with a tissue. So it became more intentional. And I just decided to leave it and just say, you know what? Sometimes you just have to have a little bit of humor in what you're doing and just let the rest go. So again, drawing and just adding more layers. I keep going back and forth, and I grabbed a different brush now so I could get a slightly different rounded end to the marks that I was making. So I'm just imagining now like different layers of flowers, these mounds of flowers maybe, that are living in this garden. And so I'm just working in, going back with lighter values, adding white in, and then creating some more translucent moments. So now I'm using some of the glazing medium and the fluorescent pink and kind of going back over top. So it's a process, right? Like it's a push-pull. It's a, how does this make me feel? Do I need to add more or maybe remove some things so that I have like a little moment to breathe within my work? It's just a lot of like asking yourself, you know, what am I enjoying? And then what do I want to continue to add to? And I love the idea of creating variety in marks. I think whenever you can do that, it becomes really successful. So the idea that I've worked from these giant marks with the squeegee right in the back, all the way down to these very tiny marks with the fine liner. And I'm just using some tissue paper. You'll probably recognize that from yesterday's tutorial. And I'm blotting those because again, I felt like I didn't want them to be so bright and so sharp and just feel like I felt like they stood out a little too much from the page. And I decided to dip my fingers in again. I grabbed some yellow and some of the green gold and added that back to the page. My husband always says I'm like covered with paint when we go anywhere. Hey, he knows who he married, right? So I think we're getting pretty close to being done here, but I did grab, this is called a Stabillo pencil. It's actually a water-soluble pencil, but I'm just using it to draw some soft lines because I thought I wanted to just create a few lines to really kind of draw your eyes around the canvas and kind of connect some of those bits so that they look like these flowers that were standing out in the garden. So I'm drawing circles around some, and then I'm drawing little stems on some others. I don't want to do too much here. I definitely don't want to overwork it and lose all that beautiful like translucency and the layers that are there. But I thought there were maybe just a couple areas that I wanted to highlight and then leave the rest really blurry. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to take the tape off here. I always love this part. And I think that just looks beautiful. And I really have had such a wonderful shift in my mood just since walking through this process. So I do hope that even on some of those busy days that you can make time for yourself. I really find that creating for yourself and is really just a form of self-care. So take that time, invest in yourself, It really does make such a huge difference. Again, I just sprayed some like fixative over the top since I had used some of the pencil, especially I didn't want that to smear. But I just think this is so lovely. Add your binder clips back so that your page dries flat and enjoy all the paint on your fingies. I think it's so beautiful. Happy painting. I'd love it if you drop me a comment and let me know how your mood shift today during your creative session.